Morning, everybody. Welcome back. We are at I can't believe we're already at the midway point of season two here of For All Mankind, episode five. Um, I absolutely adore this show, and I don't think that the cast gets enough credit as far as people talking. Well, the show doesn't get enough people talking about it in general, right? Um, I'm watching it because of recommendations from friends who loved it. But most of the people I talk to about it, I ask them if they've watched it, they say, I don't know what that is. They have no idea that the show even exists. Where is it? Well, it's on Apple TV Plus. Do you have Apple TV? It came with my phone. I might have it. I watched Ted Lasso, which we all did and loved it. But there's other stuff on Apple TV Plus that's worth checking out. And this is definitely, I believe, at the top of the list. This show's utterly fantastic and criminally underwatched, in my opinion. But I do think that the cast doesn't get enough credit for what they're asked to do. The character arcs on this show are every bit as good as the science fiction aspects of it. It does get the characters don't get slighted at all, and they're all good. I mean, there's no one that I say, oh, they could have cast that better, as happens with many other shows. I mean, like I'm low key in love with Ren Schmidt. Don't tell her. Uh, but I do think two of the people that stand out to me the most based on what they've been asked to do as characters and what their characters have kind of gone through and how well they've carried it and how perfectly they've played it. Or Chantel Van Santen as Karen, who I think has been utterly fantastic. Her journey has been probably the most interesting on the show for me. And then Michael Dorman as Gordo. God, he's good. Like I said, everyone's good, but these two should be getting some serious award season love for their performances, and I hope they did. I haven't looked up. I don't know if the show's been really like Emmys wise, for instance. I don't know if it's gotten that much attention at all. I don't really watch the Emmys because I'm more of a, as we said, why we do the channel. I'm more of a movie guy than a TV guy, really. So I'm not really sure how much attention these shows get until I kind of look into it. And I haven't yet with this show because I don't want any spoilers. Um, there are a couple of shows like The West Wing where I looked up the Emmy attention it was getting when we first started watching it and got some spoilers on. Oh, this is this is who's going to be on the show down the road and stuff like that. So I don't want to do anything like that with this show just in case the cast change because this is a notoriously a time jump show, so they can change casting at any time. But we're going to go and jump into it here. I do want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us and give a special shout out, of course, to Actuarial Lurker, Balaz Foldes, Chris, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Surya Varapu, and Weird Magic. Thanks so much, guys. Really happy you're here with us. If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or are currently watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show, including For All Mankind, we are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we are on YouTube. So if you watch the YouTube edits and want to keep going, you can do that on our Patreon page. You are going to have to sneak and watch along on your own source material. You're only going to see and hear me for copyright purposes. We're also watching 31 currently. It's a Patreon exclusive. Oh, that's a cool shot with a lander behind the sign there. Oh wait, that doesn't look like an Apollo lander. Was it? It looked different. I'm assuming they upgraded.
This is beautiful.
Yes, it is. Oh, I was wondering why she acted so. That seemed performative. Like, oh well, at least Tracy's still excited to be going back to the moon, but it was all an act. Oh, the music's starting over. That is clever. They had fun with this.
Yeah, this is she.
Oh, oh yeah, Ed's plane crashed. I totally spaced that out. That's how we ended the last episode with Ed having to eject. I wasn't overly freaked because I mean I'm really sure he's fine.
Don't worry, Mom, it's gonna be okay.
Nothing about this is okay. Nothing.
I wonder if now she's going to second
This
guess
is
her
what it's
decision to
like
tell him to go back.
For the people you love, this is what it's like, and you should know that.
Just got a little wet, that's all. I know it looks pretty bad, but Doc said I'm fine. Karen, I'm sorry.
Sorry for what? It was an accident. You know, boys will be boys.
She said boys will be boys. She knows that the reason they crashed is they were screwing around. Which makes it worse because now it's like, well, it's not even being careful when he can.
This is quite the welcome wagon y'all put together for To be honest, I think everybody was just hoping to get on Carson.
This looks bigger than I thought it would.
Yeah, everyone says that at first. Just wait a couple weeks.
You know, this is a lot of exposition for halfway through the season. I kind of feel like we're going to spend more time on the moon base now that we're getting more of an exploration of it and an explanation of it.
When I was a senior in high school, I saw you save Molly Cobb on TV. It changed my life. I remember thinking to myself, one day I'm gonna be her. We can't smoke in here, right?
Oh, yeah. But, still use my imagination.
Yikes.
Well, that is
That's
one
not
hell
great.
of a show.
Oh, okay. What was that?
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't pull both your tickets.
I take full responsibility for.
Since when?
Promise you.
Then get out of here. Scram.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it looks like they wanted to ground him. Molly saved their butts.
That's it?
What?
That was barely a slap on the wrist. We can't just let them get away with this kind of behavior. I don't care if it's Ed Baldwin or Charles goddamn Lindbergh.
These are my people. And I will handle them as I see fit.
I would have just said, "Look, I'm not done with them. I'll make their lives tough, whatever, just to kind of smooth the edges." But obviously, Molly's not an edge smoothing kind of person. Hey, Alita's here. Yeah, I'm glad that she's actually excited. I don't remember what she was hired
Pretty
to
cool,
do.
huh?
An engineer, but
Yeah, it's,
I don't know if she said specifically.
You'll be here with us in ops, working on procedures and timelines for the docking module. That's Elaine, Hank, Bobby.
Honestly, with her troubled history, I really hope she's a rock star here. I really do. And she lightens up on people a bit.
Job is going to be to retrieve unmanned cargo from various points on the surface. You land. You hook up the cable.
You know,
Winch
they
the
fly around the
containers up into
surface
the cargo
now.
hold, you bring them back here.
I think I can handle it, Doug.
Oh boy. What are the odds this doesn't go great at first? She's all over the place, yeah.
shit.
Put your hand back on the ACA and let it switch to P167 automatically.
Yeehaw!
Woo! All right.
That was great. You were great. Too, I'm wondering how a bartender turns into a poet.
Talent comes from all kinds of places. Oh,
Ellen, this is Elise, my partner. Hi, Elise.
oh.
I've heard so much about you.
Would it be weird for us to get a drink sometime? No? Not at
Yeah,
all.
okay, there was a lot of romantic tension both ways there. I'm calling it.
Tracy Stevens, ladies and gentlemen, our first ever guest from the moon.
Thank you, everyone.
I am too claustrophobic to ever sleep on the moon. It's kind of interesting. It kind of feels like this just isn't who she is anymore. She's been living kind of a cushy life, and that's not an insult to her. She's still talented, obviously, but I feel like this isn't what she likes to do anymore. Was he exercising? Oh, good for him. I love how seriously Gordon's taken this.
96.7.
So is she really just kind of a celebrity on the moon, and that's what, besides, flying people around? Really cool parallel between Tracy and Gordo here. They're just out of their element now doing this. What am I missing here? Is she gonna smoke? Can she do that? I'm not sure what the oxygen-nitrogen mixture is they're using here, but that seems dangerous. Like I said, I can't believe there was a way she was able to sneak a lighter up there. She's smoking into a vacuum? So these are the Marines.
This is crazy. Tell me about it. They still haven't given us any guidelines as to when we're allowed to shoot these things.
Well, today is your lucky day. The gist of it
she
is
can't
this.
read it.
In reclaiming Site 357 Bravo, you will not fire your weapon unless it is in response.
Admiral Baldwin, as you were.
Dad,
Hey, sorry I'm late.
well, I can get you a plate.
Yeah, I didn't think you were coming.
This is good.
Yeah,
Yes.
then Spock dies.
I feel like these two, Tracy and Gordo, would have really benefited from like couples therapy, even if they weren't together. You can get divorced, have kids, and still have things to work through personally and with each other. I think more couples, when they get divorced, should go through counseling together for how to deal with their crap with each other and their kids.
What's going on?
Grab the oxygen mask. You're maxed.
Toxic atmosphere detected. Everyone prepare for possible evacuation. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
Looks like we had a blocked vent in crew quarters B.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Have you been drinking?
Has she?
You're drunk. You're not fine. This is completely unacceptable. I'm writing you up.
Hey, don't do that. If you report me to Houston, they'll ground me.
Interesting how he handled her punishment. Way different than Molly handled Ed and Gordo's punishment, as in they didn't have one.
I don't know. I just thought it was going to be, something. I miss my boys.
Yeah, that does really suck. 6 months away from your kids, your husband, your wife. Of course, then she could have just resigned.
I should be happy. I get everything I ever wanted.
Maybe she's going to empathize with what Gordo went through a little bit, because he was stuck there for quite a while, too. And he wasn't even supposed to be there that long.
Everything okay, Dad? Yeah, you've been acting kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's time to level with him. That's good. Close to honesty.
This is about what happened up there last time.
It's not always gonna be okay.
I hope this isn't foreshadowing.
I'm just trying to burn that from my head. You know, that fear.
Cheers. Cheers.
When is the "I miss you" subject going to be broached?
You ever figure out which poem was about you?
I'm kind of curious about that myself.
So I guess this is goodbye then.
Yeah.
Yes, so.
What do you think is in those cases? I'll tell you one thing. It's not sticks and stones.
Closing on that, after the way the episode started, right, with Ed Crowd had to kind of relive it, and her, some of the past trauma, and then kind of reliving this moment too, where she dances to Elvis by herself. I feel like Karen's journey isn't remotely close to being over. I don't know what that's going to look like, but this idea that Karen was a doting housewife, as many wives, especially ones in their circumstances as military wives, were supposed to be, right. Take care of the household, take care of the kids, while the husband goes off and does XYZ. Is his job. Particularly in Cold War America. That this setup of Karen having her place and the husband having their place. Karen, I don't feel like was ever really that person. I don't feel like she was ever really happy with it. So when we got into season 2, when she was now owning and managing a restaurant, it was like, okay, Karen has decided that really isn't the only role she wants for herself. Even though they've adopted another child, she's still a mother. She's still a wife. Her husband is still, doing the things that her husband's doing for the government. But she has decided that's not what she wants personally for herself. Not that there's anything wrong with people who do, but for Karen, that's not what she wanted. But now it's starting to look increasingly like this isn't completely it either. There's still something, and I don't know what that's going to look like. But certainly a sense that we're not done with Aaron's arc, or maybe anybody's. I do feel like Gordo explaining to his kids that sometimes things go wrong. I know he was talking about obviously talking around the first time he didn't completely come clean, but he admits that he's concerned, that he's scared, which I think is a really good step. But it felt like bad foreshadowing. I mean, obviously, some more stuff is going to go wrong in this show. The complete disaster that ended season one will probably have a complete disaster that ends season two. Also, it may be a shootout with Soviets on the moon. I don't know, um, but it felt really ominous with him telling his kids, that sometimes things just go wrong and there's nothing you can really do about it. I mean, you say that everything's going to be all right, but you don't know that doesn't mean that something's going to happen either to him or to Tracy. Because I like, I like having both of them around, and I hope we keep doing it for, I don't know, we're in 4 seasons now. But who knows? Maybe it's going to be something completely different. Maybe that's foreshadowing someone else. I don't know how long ends on the show or anyone else. So, but I do think it's fair to say that that's foreshadowing the fact that something horrible is going to happen, and I hope the fact that Gordo's telling his kids doesn't necessarily mean something bad is going to happen to Gordo or Tracy, because the central cast has gone through enough. Darn it! I'll catch you on the next one.